As a longtime Foo Fighters fans, one of my dream guitars to add to my collection one day is a Gibson Grohl 335. And they've gotten incredibly expensive over the years on the collector's market. I was really hoping they would make the all-white one into a production model, and then I'd be like, okay, perfect. If I can get it for the actual retail price, I will for sure buy one. But on Reverb right now, there is quite arguably the ultimate Foo Fighters fan guitar that you could purchase, and it's the very first Grohl 335 ever made that was toured and owned by Dave himself for a handful number of years, and the original price, the original ask, $212,000. Now, I was originally going to make a quick video on this a couple of months ago when it was first listed, but I just never ended up having the time to do so. But just because I think it's a cool part of the Foo Fighters history, I definitely wanted to document it on the channel. So the listing title is Gibson DG-335 Dave Grohl number DG001, owned and toured by Dave Grohl. Original listing price was $212,000, and it had quite a significant price drop in the couple of months that it's been up for sale to now just shy of $85,000. And the not even numbers is because it's listed by Fat Bottom Guitars. Great store name in Briary Hill in the UK. So it's originally listed in pounds, and I've just converted my Reverb shop from Canadian to American to make it, easy for you guys to kind of follow the currency. So just to quickly read from the listing before going through some of the awesome photos of this guitar, we are pleased to present for sale the first ever Dave Grohl signature DG-335 from Gibson, and a guitar that was played extensively by Dave from 2007 to 2018, including the famous Foo Fighters Wembly Stadium show in 2012. Please note this is a confidential sale, and we invite serious inquiries only. Further information on the guitar, the story of this guitar, and the provenance between the current owner and Dave Grohl is available upon further request. This is serial number 001, which signifies this being the first DG-335 made by Gibson and one of only 100 to have been produced. This guitar was extensively used by Dave Grohl throughout multiple tours from 2007 to 2018 until it was given personally by Dave to the current owner as part of a very unique trade. Since its new ownership, the guitar has had zero use, with it still as is the day Dave last played it, with various signs of wear, sweat, etc. remaining on the guitar. With regards to condition, the guitar remains in good condition with some signs of scratches and marks to the finish, chips to the top of the headstock, and one of the tuner buttons has fell from the guitar. All tuners remain functional. The guitar has had no breaks, and the electrics still function as they should. The original case is included and still retains the black number 1 tape along with Dave's manager's details. Please note these have been blurred on the image for privacy reasons, which makes sense. An excellent opportunity to own a part of history and a guitar that has remained uncirculated until this day. For more information on the guitar, imagery, and provenance included, we invite serious buyers to contact us. Pretty insane detailing there. So just a couple of things to note. This being serial number 001, it being the first 335 made. I'm assuming it's serial number 1 in terms of the 100 that they made in black for the production models that Gibson did produce. I assume Dave probably owns at least number 1 of the black, the Pelham Blue, and the gold versions as well, owning one, the very first production model of all of them that he would use among a handful of other ones, backups, things like that in his collection, but this one just being the very first black one that was made. And just looking through the photos here of the guitar, you can definitely, tell that it's been worn up. The tape on top of the case with black number 1 is pretty cool that it was the main black DG that Dave was playing for all of the drop D songs like Everlong, for example. This would be what he was using. You can see the serial number is inside of the diamond F hole there. It's really cool. It's a guitar that he obviously used and played live, so of course it's not going to be in perfect mint condition, but you wouldn't want it as that. Now, of course, the one part of this story that I'm just very curious on is what was the other piece of gear, I assume, that was part of this deal that Dave then acquired and traded away one of his main touring guitars for quite a long time. And it is really cool that Dave, we kind of have confirmation here that he's playing the production spec versions, which isn't always the case with what you get as a production version guitar of an artist's main stage guitar. Sometimes they're not always, one-to-one of what you get. So the fact that this is just, the first production black DG-335 that Dave's playing is really awesome, and this had to have come from a serious collector, especially because, a guitar like this, he didn't play it as it says, it's just Dave played it, gave it to him, then he's just had it, you know, and it, as part of a collection, I'm assuming, just, you know, kind of sitting there and, you know, either to hold on to or eventually move on from, which is clearly now the case. But just a really insane guitar. You can see all of the wear on the body, all the little marks and dings and stuff like that. You know, the Foo Fighters being a rock band, they're not super careful about their gear, and, you know, nor really should they, or really anyone for that matter. It's their instruments. They're made to be played, they're made to be used, and if you're going to play live and stuff like that, you know, it's a workhorse. It's not meant to be, you know, kept in pristine condition. So it's really cool just to see all the little nicks. Everything tells a story with this guitar, especially on the headstock. There are, I'm sure, lots of times Dave accidentally dropped the guitar or bashed it into amps or something like that. It's super cool just to see this guitar actually as part of that history, and some really great shots of it too. I really want to know the story behind, you know, that trade deal. Of course, you have a shot of Dave with the guitar during the Wembley performance, one of my favorite live concerts ever. My friend, the London guitarist, who you guys, at least in the Mayor space, will know pretty well, he was actually at the show, which I'm insanely jealous of. Jimmy Page, John Paul Jones coming out at the very end to perform with the band, just insane. You know, Taylor singing as well as part of that. Rest in peace, Taylor. Just such an incredible performance, and, you know, this guitar is in history, in Foo Fighters history, even just because it was used at that specific show. Really, really cool. And just as a big Foo Fighters fan, I just wanted to highlight the fact that this guitar is actually for sale. Yeah, really cool. Hopefully we know some more to the story, maybe one day, or see more of this guitar. But I just really want Gibson to do another run, either Pelham Blue, any color really, or white. But I feel like that ship has sailed with, you know, now they're moving on to a new album. The main tour for But Here We Are is over. You know, the very first time I saw Dave playing the all-white DG-335, I instantly was like, yeah, there's going to be a production run. They're going to make them. I reached out to some contacts that I have to be like, hey, if you hear of anything, put my name down for one, because I knew it was going to be insanely hard to actually get. And just, you know, it's going to be one thing that sells out instantly because of the way the other versions have gone on the collector's market. It's a guitar that, you know, unfortunately people would know you could instantly flip and make a lot of money on, but I genuinely, just as a very passionate Foo Fighters fan, was like, it's a guitar that I want, but I'm just not going to spend what they currently go for. Like, that's, and to me, I think it's a little bit insane. So it's just something I would never purchase the way they currently go for. So I'm relying on there to be another run. And Gibson, you guys have done the Epiphone version, which is great. It's a guitar that I've been tempted to buy, but I really want to just hold off until there hopefully is another Gibson run. But the Epiphone release as well does shed some light that, you know, they are still clearly working with Dave, so maybe they will eventually make another Gibson run. I hope that's the case, because I'd certainly love to add one to my collection. I know some of you guys are Foo Fighters fans. I just think this is cool. I thought I'd make a quick video on it, so I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'm curious how many of you guys actually own DG-335s, whether it's the Gibson or Epiphone. I'm sure a few of you guys do at least, but yeah. Quick video, cool guitar. Thought I'd make a video on it. Take care, you guys. I'll see you on the next one.